And we are live. We want the gold, sucker. We want the gold, sucker.
Guess who's back after a week? He ain't been seen in a week. It's your boy Ben Goosen back on the mic. I'm coming at you fools like I'm a white dude named Mike. That's the best rap I could ever have. What up, you boys? I'm Ben Goosen here with Sage DeMark. What up, Sage?
My boy is back in the building. What's up, Ghost?
That's definitely hitting the soundboard. That long ass goose. I love it.
No equalization needed, baby.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Thank you for filling in last week. Before we get into today's show, and we have a packed show today, I have to say thank you. I couldn't make it last week. I was shocked. I was happy that you were able to fill in and get the job done with Soda Pop. Went back and listened to the show, and I got to admit, we had a long show last week. It was a long show, but it was a long show because the content, the guest we had was real. The questions, the thoughts, the opinions. What I liked about the show last week pushed about I think it was ended up being close to an hour and 40 minutes?
Yeah, 140.
But y'all disagreed on things, and you agreed to disagree on things, which is awesome. Like in America these days, especially with wrestling fans, wrestling is supposed to, the WWE, it's entertainment. It's supposed to bring people together. And there's the agree to disagree and just have fun with it. Y'all did a great job. Shout outs to Soda Pop Hendricks last week. He did an amazing job. I listened to the show and thought, all right, let me see how this show's going to go. And it was just an amazing show last week. Go back and check it out. Last week's episode, it was a longer episode, but just a lot of thoughts because there was a lot of content for last week in wrestling. Greatest Battle Royal, Backlash, Raw, SmackDown, just a lot of stuff going on. And we met a fan. And hey, hit us up. Just go on Twitter. It's easy. It's Real Wrestling Podcast. We will put you on the show. We're all about putting fans on the show and getting your perspective. So, Sage, I think we agreed we got to start off in a special spot this week.
Yeah, man.
What country are we in, Sage?
This is America.
We're all living in America. It's wonderful. That's a little Rammstein for y'all.
Yeah.
Rammstein. Amazing song, by the way. So this is America. This is where we live. We have represented just in this podcast, Black, white, Indian, Jewish. This week we had a song come out, and it, this is a wrestling podcast, but we touch on other subjects. And there was a song that hit me and Sage in the soul by Childish Gambino. So let's start. Let's get into it, man. The first time I saw that video, my friend at work, he's been on the show a little over a year, about 8 months ago. He was on the show. Z-Man. We did an NBA recap. He said, have you seen the new Childish Gambino? I looked it up. The first thing I noticed was Donald Glover, Childish Gambino. Why is he doing all this trendy dancing? What's the catch? And I watched this video the first time and just paid attention to the dancing. And the kids dancing behind it. The choreography. Thought, all right, dude could dance. But what's the catch? Like, what am I missing here? This isn't a choreographed video. Let me rewatch this video and not pay attention to a single thing that's happening with him dancing. And this video is deep. I feel like you have to watch it. It's like a movie you got to watch 5 times to really understand.
Easter eggs everywhere.
Nailed it, right?
Just A grade, bruh. Like straight up A grade Easter eggs everywhere. He nailed it, man. And you know, just I didn't even know who Childish Gambino was. Like I feel ashamed, man, because I mean I felt ashamed not knowing who he was and going into I had no expectation. It's just blowing up my timeline. I was like, what the hell is going on? Why does he like I think that the picture that they always have is with his eyes all big. Like I guess that's like some type of reference from like Get Out or something, which I still haven't seen. But I was just
slavery,
yeah. So I was just like, what the hell is going on? So I just like you, I just decided, you know what? I can't avoid it any longer, man. The signs are there. It's telling me to watch this video, bro. And like, I was like you, man. For the exception of the first 5 seconds, when the first transition happened, because I think that's what it is. It's just a transition sequence. But when the first transition happened, I was like, whoa. And then you just focus on the dancing for the majority. And the dancing is great because it's like, it's different styles of dancing in different periods of time. Overall, you've got the new style with I don't know what the kids call it, but with the
yeah. It's like the backpack kid dance.
Yeah, you got that, and then you have the old slavery dancing with the jazz and the blues. Then you get a little Michael at the end. But then throughout the entire song, you also hear get your money, like get your money. Like I'm like, this is deep, bro. This is saying like we only good for entertaining and dancing and we should just shut up and collect our paychecks at the end. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
It's so deep. And his video worked because it's him talking. And I saw a clip on TMZ today. He was walking around, maybe leaving an airport or something like that. And TMZ asked him, hey, what does the video mean? And his response, and I'm paraphrasing this, was, hey, you're talking about it, right? That's what the video is. So they asked him, what does the video specifically mean? And his response was, hey, you're talking about it. That's what the video means. It's like the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
He's an artist. And that's the beautiful thing about art, is it is what you make of it. So you could watch a video and say, man, this guy can dance. The song kind of sucks. Or you could watch it and say, man, this video's got some deep meanings. Did you notice in the video, and again, I've watched this thing 3, 4, 5 times already, that in the video, in the background, the dead bodies are just kind of like drug off screen. But every time he's handed a gun, it's in a nice sheet cloth and it's politely handed to him. So it's like and there's kids dancing behind him. So it's like hey guys, we argue for our guns. We argue for our gun rights. The NRA argues for gun rights. These people on the other side say, no, we argue. We're protecting our civil rights. Oh yeah, somebody got shot. Nah, it doesn't matter. I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about our gun rights. So it was so, and man, the video itself, damn, like.
But I don't even think it's so much like the gun symbolized, like it symbolized a couple of things, right? It was definitely for the video perspective, it was a transition between sequences and scenes. And to me, the way that I interpreted the whole guns thing is kind of like how you were saying, like we care more about the tangibles in life than we do the actual things that matter, which is each other, the people and each other. The only time that guns and black people come into play is when someone gets killed. Then we talk about it for like 3 seconds and then we don't talk about it at all. I think that was really symbolic with the church shooting, because you really only heard about it for maybe not even a full day. Like, there was a church shooting, it was on being covered for like 3 hours, and then we hadn't heard anything for like the rest of the week about it whatsoever. Um, I just, I it really made you think, man. Like, even the whole, we when something bad is happening in the streets, or we see something happening, instead of us going out and doing something about it, we rather pull out our cell phones and just record it and hope that it goes viral. I mean, what's that say about our society?
Yeah, it's bad. And is it? I don't know. It's a conversation to be had, because on one side you could say, hey man, well, let's go viral, make me popular. Or on the other side, it's saying, well, now I've got video proof of what the police actually do to people, so I'm actually proving a point. But that's the point of the video, is to bring up that conversation. So we had to kick off the show today. This is America. This is America. This is America's Day. When we record this podcast, it's Thursday the 10th. This is America's Day. No, it's not America's Day. You know whose day this is, Sage? Day of the week. This is Sage the Mark. I couldn't be here last week. I apologize. I was feeling very weak. I would love to sing and sing all day, but I can't, because it's not about America, but it's about Rusev Day.
Your trip, bro. Your trip.
Rusev is the highlight of this week. We'll get into that in a little bit, because it was the thing that caught me. You know what? It's funny. It caught me off guard, and I have to say this now before we get into SmackDown. It caught me off guard, and where I work in the cafeteria, the chef, Bino, he came up to me and goes, "Hey," and this is a dude with a hard accent. He's from Mexico. Hey, man. Oh, that Rusev, that son of a bitch. He beat Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan come back. He's like me and you. He's like me and you, and we survived it, and we made it, and Daniel Bryan needs to make it. And that Rusev, he beat him. He don't need to beat him, man. And then he walked off and got back to work. So that was legit Bino's comments. You know Bino, but it was the comments that I got this week. But before we get on that, again, I have to thank you and Soda Pop for how amazing last week's show was. I'm not gonna lie, I saw that it ran an hour and 40 minutes, and I thought, all right, let me see how this goes. And I was amazed. Soda Pop, shout outs to you. You did an amazing job last week. Hopefully you got some followers or something out of us. It was just great to hear from a hardcore wrestling fan who knows the indie talent as well. Backlash. So was the card bad? And we're playing Monday morning quarterback here.
Yeah.
So any fan would have said, hey, if I could rebook this card, I would have put Miz and Seth Rollins as the main event. So after knowing the ending of the AJ Styles Nakamura match and the ending of the Roman Reigns match, would you have changed the card in any different way?
I would have. And I didn't see this until Monday. So, and I stayed off social media and everything for this, but I texted you as soon as I was going through the card. And regardless of the finish, that match should have been ahead of Roman, and that match should have been ahead of Roman and Samoa Joe, period. Whether the show ended with the Intercontinental belt or whether the WWE belt hit the primetime spot, that match should have went on after Samoa Joe, and it should have, man. That was the only, just on principle. I didn't have any problems with the way that the match finished. I mean, we all knew that this match was the AJ and Shinsuke was going to go on for quite some time. I don't like the fact that they're not showcasing the WWE title in the main event at all. I don't think that it's main evented a co-branded pay-per-view since the inception of the Universal title at all.
Yeah, great point. I agree with you. I think that it doesn't shit on the SmackDown title necessarily just because of the level of talent that's in the ring. But going back and thinking about it, I think they decided, well, based on the ending of this match, maybe it shouldn't be the main event. But by that
Samoa Joe match was terrible. That match was god awful.
You're right. That's the thing, is they should have accounted for, all right, well, if this match isn't the main event, what kind of chance are we going to get during the main event, the Samoa Joe Roman Reigns match? And we got Rusev Day chance? Like, and then people are leaving. So what if?
Shout out to Canada, man, because they really came to play this entire week, man. So
they did. Yeah, major shout outs. What if they started the show? Because Roman Reigns, we all know, is the guy. What if they started the show with Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe? So you're starting off with, like, first off, you get the, holy crap, wait a minute.
That shit should have been a pre-show, bro.
It
was
no,
not.
You should have been.
Not worthy of main. It's not worthy of the main events. It's not worthy to be on the main card. Period. With the way that match was, it shouldn't have been anywhere on there. If you took that match off of the entire card, it would have been a damn near perfect pay-per-view.
I will agree with you there. But what if the show started off with Roman Reigns coming out first? You know, right after they do the welcome to Backlash, Roman Reigns comes out first, because then you get the instant like, oh, wait a minute, is this guy not kind of mid-card main event status? All right, I got to check this out. He might actually lose to Joe. We're going to see a good match. And then you give it, you give it more time because it's the opening match of the night. But when Roman Reigns or John Cena is the first match of the night, that gives you that instinctive, like, wait a minute. Wow, this guy's opening. Maybe something's in shock. Maybe something's in store. But what if it opened? If it would have opened the night, would you have viewed, regardless, let's just take the win for the win. If that match was the exact same thing, but was the first match of the night,
I would have been.
You have liked it more?
Fine. Yeah, I would have been perfectly fine with it. I honestly, there was nothing wrong with, in my opinion, the entire card, for the exception of that match and where it was placed. Everything else was perfect. Like, I had no issues with any of the matches. They were all great and entertaining, and I had at least 2 mark-out moments on every single one of those matches, for the exception of the very last match. It went on too long. The ending just got really, really sluggishly slow. Like, they didn't know what they were supposed to do, and they were given extra time, and they didn't know what they were. I don't know what it was, man, but that was just flipping hot garbage.
Well, I actually liked the match because I like what Samoa Joe did on the offense, because what I took out of it was he did a lot of rest holds and ground and pound, and he kept the match slow and methodical. And what I liked about it, the psychology-wise, what I took out of it, and don't get me wrong, I was kind of falling asleep during the match, but what I took out of it,
and you giving it credit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is I'm giving it credit.
Oxymoron if I ever heard one, man.
I was extremely tired in the match. But what I took out of it was, all right, Samoa Joe's going into this match knowing this dude just kicked out of 5 F5s. But he wasn't worn down at WrestleMania, so I got to wear this guy down, and the coquina clutch will take care of him. So that's the way I took it. I thought Joe was going for the wear down. Now, you put that at the end of the night after a 4-hour show, because the this match didn't start till after 10 o'clock Central Time, 11 o'clock Eastern Time, which is where they were. So you have some tired fans and stuff like that. So I'm not saying it was executed great, but I love this story that was told in that match. I would have put that match on first to start the night. Talk to Stephanie or Kurt Angle or whatever and say, hey, Miz is running his mouth bad. Let's get this co-branded main event. Let's get this done tonight, because if Miz wins and we have 2 titles on one show, so let's let that be the main event. I'm also playing Monday Morning Quarterback, but I thought the show was all right. I didn't really care for the burial. It was I don't even know if you want to say burial, but the KO and Sammy and the Lashley, care about that. Carmella, actually, I thought she did much better than I thought she would do. I thought she shined that night. She picked up the W.
Yeah,
but she also looked good in the ring, and she controlled the match for a bit.
Well, Carmella is money, bruh. I was thoroughly impressed with Carmella. I loved that spot where I think she was going for she went for the somersault. She put her legs up, caught her, and then put her in the code of silence. I was like,
yes.
Oh, Mella, yes. Yeah, man, I know that people gripe about it, but I think she's a great heel, man. She's annoying, and I love that laugh.
Oh, it's such a shit laugh, ain't it?
Better than you. I love it, man. Like, Carmella is money right now, man. I hope she has a good sizable reign with the title before they take it off of her, man.
Oh yeah, I agree. I really enjoyed that match. Did you hear the news about Charlotte that broke? I think it was today.
I heard something about his surgery, but I didn't. I mean, that was hitting my wires, but that's all I heard.
Yeah, so Charlotte apparently has, and she's able to work through it slightly, but she has a ruptured chest implant that she'll have to have some work on, and she'll be have to have some surgery and be out of action for a bit. Hopefully, we'll be back by SummerSlam. So here's to
plant.
Yeah,
is she smoking weed? Well, what are we talking about here, bro?
No, ruptured breast implant. Implant.
Like she got fake thingies. She got fuzzy bags, bro. She got airbags.
Yeah. The airbag broke, so
okay.
She's got to have surgery to fix it. Man, I could imagine. I feel bad for her, because think about it. If
that live on TV that happened? I mean, not like I'm gonna go back and watch it or nothing, but I'm just.
Oh no, you'd watch it, because watching wrestling injuries is always something that's pretty awesome. But it's happened in China before. I mean, think about it. These poor women, their breasts are they're not exposed, but they're out there, and wrestling's a physical sport. So you take these bags that are when they have implants and they break. It happened in China, and I think about it. You have a bag in your breastplate, and that thing ruptures, and that bag is just filled with chemicals. So it breaks, and you're releasing chemicals in your body. I would assume that's extremely painful. So I give credit to her for working through all this. I think it's crazy that she's working through all this, but she's going to have some surgery, and she should be back by, I don't think she's going to participate actually in Money in the Bank, but though
6 weeks, bro, 5 weeks from now, she should be fine by then, right?
I have no idea, because I don't even want to know what that surgery is all about.
Yeah. Well, here's the speedy recovery. I hope she gets well soon or something.
Yeah. Speedy recovery. You want to get into Raw?
Yeah, let's well, you know what? Before we get into Raw, I guess we can segue into it. It appears that we have the 2 other remaining horsewomen signed to the WWE. Got Jessamine Juke and Marina, and I can't pronounce her last name, but what are your thoughts about that, Goose?
I love it. because I read that this morning. I'm glad you brought that up. I meant to mention that on the podcast, but I didn't, and you did. So Soda Pop next week might be replacing me.
Soda Pop, you got the job with your 3,000 followers on Instagram hooking us up. Let's go.
So I thought it was a good. I think it's a good signing, but I'm saying this because of the work ethic of Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. If these two women have the work ethic that those two have, and I don't know these girls, but if they have the work ethic, wrestling will look good to them, and then we'll have a 4 horsewoman of wrestling versus a 4 horsewomen of wrestling eventually. I think it's a great bridge. Like these women signing, if they become successful, keyword women, if they become successful and they transition well into the WWE, that's going to pave the way for a lot of UFC fighters to come into trying out professional wrestling. I'm not saying John Jones or Daniel Cormier or Conor McGregor is going to make the jump or anything like that, but it's going to lead to some of the fighters who maybe just don't work out. Like some of the women fighters here, maybe it just didn't work out. They have a couple of losses, they get cut. Maybe it's just not their gig. Leads into a lucrative career where they could channel their focus and the intensity and the physicality and be successful. So I think it's great. I love it. I love everything Shayna Baszler has done. She's the champ. She's fighting at NXT TakeOver Chicago 3. She's going to be fighting. No, I didn't say it. I don't know. But NXT Chicago TakeOver, she's obviously going to be defending the title. But no, I love it. I think it's a great move, not just because of the 4 horsewomen angle, but you're getting athletic MMA. You're getting athletic women talent who are used to the physicality. What about you? Sorry, that was long-winded.
No, you're good, man. I go worse. So, I love it and I hate it at the same time. I think that I'm more looking forward to what life will look like after the horsewomen. I really, one of our followers kind of posed this question to us earlier, and I was talking to him about it. Who would I think would be the breakout star of the 4 horsewomen? Who would be the better wrestler, et cetera, et cetera. It's kind of hard to say because, Ronda and Shayna have such a head start, ahead of Duke and Marina. But I think that if Marina were to come out of the shadows a bit and not be so overshadowed by Shayna and Ronda, I think that she could potentially be the breakout star in the group. She's got a mean arm bar, and she's got stamina for days. Jessima, my concern about her is I feel like she'll gas too easily, which won't lead to a very great match. And I don't want to set her up for failure for something like that. And I know that they'll end up going into shape and getting into wrestling shape. But that's my biggest concern with her is that maybe I don't think she'd be able to run the ropes effectively like a Marina would or like a Shayna does. And so,
well, that's the tough part is with these girls, since they have the horsewomen gimmick, and because they're tied to Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, their training has to kind of be expedited because of storylines and gimmicks that are available out there. But you know what's going to be awesome one day? You know what we're going to get? We're going to get Shayna Baszler and the other 2 horsewomen called up. Then we're going to have all 4 with Shayna Baszler, the other 2, and Ronda Rousey all on one roster. And then there's going to hit that day where Baszler and the other 2 turn on Rousey.
Oh, God, that would be
awesome.
We're
going to have a Shayna Baszler Ronda Rousey match. Now, I can tell you from what I've heard and seen in interviews and things, wrestlers that are closer and friends, they have harder matches against each other because you're friends. You want to bring out the best in one another. And
yeah, for sure.
Ronda, imagine in maybe not a year, but 2 years, Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler. And wrestling is scripted, I get it. But the scripted match that they could have, because Baszler is amazing. Like if she locks you up, you're not getting out of it. but Rousey still has her story to tell. So just imagine the Baszler Rousey storyline. And they're not typical. These girls are kind of like almost like a Brock Lesnar of the women's division. Like they come in and they establish what they got to do. And this is based off Rousey's excellent WrestleMania debut.
Yeah.
Man, I'm pumped. I'm really, really pumped. I think Rousey's great for the WWE. And the more she plays into the, I'm not talking about MMA. That's more talk around her that she gets. And that helps with the image.
And maybe we can get a special cameo appearance with my girl, Misha Tate, or even a cyborg. That would be pretty awesome, man.
Could you
imagine a WrestleMania or something like that?
Could you imagine if Misha Tate came? Or Cyborg.
I would love it. So she's set to deliver that baby sometime soon, man. So we could see her as soon as September, October. She'd be willing to sign on that dotted line. Just saying.
Yeah. So rest of Raw this week, I thought Raw was. I watched all of Raw, sat on the couch, and thought, all right. Let me get the most out of this. They're kind of somewhat playing up the Titus Worldwide slip and slide thing, and it's whatever. Is No Way Jose the next Adam Rose?
I think it's too soon to tell right now. I don't think so. I think it's easy to draw that comparison just because he has the Congo line thing going, but the Congo line won't be there forever. Once that goes around, we should be able to see we'll actually get to see an actual program. Right now, there's not really a program with him. He's just the foil between Titus and Baron Corbin right now. So I get what you're saying, but I don't think we should be worried. Not right now. It's too soon. We got to wait till after the first dual branded pay-per-view, quote unquote.
Okay, good. Yeah. I was worried he'd become the next Fandango, the next Adam Rose thing, and you're right. It's because of the conga line. So I hope the best for him. Definitely hope the best for him. Raw didn't do much for me. I'm not saying it was terrible. It was just, average. Seth Rollins has been on the tear lately, like just annihilating folks. What I did like is in the main event, we got the beginning of a new feud, which I'm a fan of, and a Finn Balor win. We got some Money in the Bank qualifiers, and I really like how I didn't get to talk about this last week, of course, but we, the multi-branded pay-per-views. Soda Pop said, hey, what's the point if you have split shows? Just if you have split shows, do split show pay-per-views. So now that we're officially into the multi-branded pay-per-views, I like that Money in the Bank is going to be for SmackDown, for Raw. And that's the way it is. So that way you kind of get that surprise. And it's not like, okay, now we have a SmackDown Money in the Bank and a Raw Money in the Bank and a Women's SmackDown Money in the Bank and a Raw SmackDown Money in the Bank.
Yeah, it'd be overkill.
It would. So I like what they're doing with it. And that there's not going forward, there's not going to be a lot of inner feuds between, this random Raw guy is going to fight this random Smack guy. It's just a true pay-per-view that happens to have Raw and SmackDown matches. So I'm cool with that. I'm cool with the multi-branded pay-per-views now that I think about it. So what do you think of the main event? I mean, Roman Reigns, and you don't hinder the gender.
I love it, bro. I marked the hell out, man. The subtlety for the past couple of weeks with gender, taking digs at Roman Reigns. I love it. I'm feeling Money in the Bank right now because there's so much uncertainty right now. Like we could potentially get gender winning. Like I know he's not in it officially, but we could potentially get him winning it and then taking on the Beastmaster or taking on that Beastmaster persona and taming or cashing in on Brock Lesnar. But But I love that Gender is just being more vocal against Roman Reigns. And the crowd's feeling it. I like that as well. I don't think that he's going to be turning a face per se or anything like that, but like Gender's doing his thing, bro. I'm
Yeah, he's
loving
tired
it,
of it.
man.
I love it. He's just tired of it. So I love the ending because it wasn't just a typical Roman Reigns squash. You got Finn Balor in it. I think that, you'll have a couple folks that end up in it. But what I like about what the money, hopefully, I don't know if this is true. We'll find out in a few weeks. What I like about what the Money in the Bank card is turning out to be is that it's turning out to be the mid-card guys that are in the match. So it's when someone wins, oh, wow. All right, this guy's probably going to win the title and get a push. So I'm pumped. I think there's a lot of excitement around Money in the Bank that could happen.
Yeah.
Anything else on Raw that we missed? I felt like there wasn't much to talk about on Raw this week.
No, I'm trying to think if there was anything else that was notable on Raw. I actually watched it on the Hulu cut itself, and no, most of my excitement came from SmackDown. To be honest with you, man, I will say on the subject of Finn Balor, not Finn Balor, Seth Rollins. I absolutely loved what him and The Miz did on Sunday. That match was just completely amazing.
Great story.
Great story. Great chemistry together. Man, and it's crazy that they're on different brands now, bro. But SmackDown was good, man. I absolutely loved SmackDown. A lot of shocks, a lot of surprises. I'm loving it, man. I'm thinking they're doing some great things, man.
They are, and it's smart and subtle. I think this week on SmackDown they did a good job of saying AJ and Shinsuke won't be on the card, so they actually said it out loud, so you don't have any expectations of it. Even though I'm sure maybe they came out in a dark match or something. But their whole match was about the nut shot, ended in DQ, and I love Shinsuke. I really like him as a heel, saying, "Oh no, I know speak English." But Shinsuke, we've heard you speak English before. I don't speak English right now. That was great to me. Like, it was great because it was such a dick move. Like, it's like saying, "Hey Vince, man, you owe me that $5. Where's my paycheck at?" By Vince, I mean Ben Goosen. "Hey Ben Goosen," that's what 3 times I've done that. So, "Hey Ben Goosen, you owe me $5." "No, I don't. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't speak English." "No, you owe me $5. I paid you for I paid for a Jersey Mike's last week." "You know, you said last night at the club, yo, you speak perfect English. So what's up? Where's my $5? "Yeah, man, I don't speak English right now."
Oh man.
Yeah. So I love where they're going with that, but I thought they kind of wrote them off in a good way.
Yeah.
I think next week they're giving us the official debut, and I think we're on the overseas tour next week, of Andrade Cien Almas.
Yeah, buddy. El ídolo.
I'm not even going to try to say that. Yeah, so we got Andrade Cien Almas debuting next week. I think one thing that I'm getting pumped for is Sanity has been saying they're going to hurt. So if these 3 debut hard, I think, think about it. If these 3 debut hard and they are the ones who have to go up against the tag champs at the moment, the Destruction Boys, the Destruction Brothers,
Dun, 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 dun.
you're just gonna have a good story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's gonna be a war for sure, man. And I'm gonna absolutely love it. It's gonna be great stuff, man.
So the main event of SmackDown, I think, caught everybody off guard. because we talked about 2 weeks ago, and you mentioned it with Soda Pop. How do we make sure Rusev Day gets the justice it deserves? That's me summing up the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that's a good point, man. I don't know, like DB and Rusev, man. My heart wanted Rusev to win, but I felt like they were gonna go.
Rusev Day is insanely over right now, and we've talked about the past 2 weeks about how over it is. So how do we protect that? Because this week with the clean win on Daniel Bryan, how do we protect that?
Yeah, man. I like it, man, because they're on the low key doing great things in front of your face, but you just can't see it right now. We've got The Miz in the Money in the Bank match. We got Daniel Bryan out of the Money in the Bank match. They are doing everything in their power to keep these two separated, which leads me to think that they could possibly give The Miz the belt. Like, he can low key might get the Money in the Bank, cash in the belt, win the belt, and then him and Daniel Bryan will end up colliding ways either by Survivor Series or Royal Rumble. I mean, there's so many possibilities. I think that's the reason why he lost the match, is that they're playing the long card between The Miz and Daniel Bryan, because that's the match that everybody wants to see, and they're not going to give it to us. They're not going to give it to us now.
So let me ask you this, and I agree, it's the match, especially if they push Miz from here to WrestleMania as just a straight jerk. But what if Daniel Bryan wins? Is he going to Brock Lesnar?
No, because he's. I mean, I know that he could cash in on the Universal title, but I don't think so. Like, I think they're. I mean, that's a whole separate thing. I think that if they play it right, Finn Balor should be the one who takes the title off of Brock Lesnar.
But how can
I know
Finn
that
Balor
there's.
I'm sorry to cut you off. How could he take the title off of Brock Lesnar if Roman? I'm just thinking of storyline continuity, and you and Soda Pop talked about continuity last week. How can Finn Balor be the one that beats Brock Lesnar if continuity wise Roman Reigns kicked out of what, 5 F5s? So are you now telling me that Finn Balor can kick out of 5 F5s when Braun Strowman just didn't? When Samoa Joe just didn't when they had their shots at Brock?
I think Finn Balor, the man, can't do it, but Finn Balor, the Demon King, El Diablo del Rey,
good call.
he can do it. And I think that would be the play. Now, there is a concern from a Money in the Bank perspective, and this is what I don't want to happen, but the reality of the situation is that Roman Reigns will be in this Money in the Bank match. There's no way around it. He's going to be in it. They're going to give a second chance match for all the losers, and he's going to weasel his way in there. What I don't want to happen is I don't want Roman to win it and cash it in on Brock and kind of consider that his Achilles heel, that he can't win a match when someone cashes in on him. I think that's a waste of a spot. There's no reason whatsoever that a Raw superstar should have the Money in the Bank contract. None of their stories or any of the superstars that they have are compelling enough to have it. They're not.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. I don't know who's the one to dethrone Brock, but it does kind of put us in a good position because people will complain about it and say, well, no, it's just Reigns or it's just these guys. But it does give us the interest in, well, who's going to dethrone this guy? If Reigns couldn't do it after several attempts, then who's going to be the guy that and just countless guys have faced Brock and they couldn't get it done. So I'm looking forward to it. You know, I think it'll happen within the next year for sure. So I'm really looking forward to it. Anything else we got to cover inside or outside the ring? Did we miss anything this week? We had a really busy week.
Yeah, just a couple of things, man. So you know about Nikki Bella and John Cena, right?
Kind of trying to rekindle the relationship. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a rumor going out that he ain't trying to rekindle a relationship with Nikki Bella. He's trying to tag the women's champ. Now I don't know if this is true, Goose, but if it is, I got a question for you, man.
Which women's champ?
Is it appropriate?
Wait, which women's champ? Carmella?
Why don't you take a guess? Which one do you think it is?
Carmella? I thought she was dating Big Cass.
Nah, man, they broke up like almost a year ago, man. Like, well, right when he had his injury, they broke out. They broke up, man. And she's been kind of single ever since. But yeah, apparently, I mean, no one's seen them around, but that's kind of been going down. I want to know, man, is that even appropriate, bro? Because like, there's a bro code. To me, there's a bro code, bro.
Nah, that's fake news. Yeah, there's definitely a bro code. That's fake. That's fake news, though.
Okay, so let's say that it was real, just hypothetically, if it was real. Is this a violation of the bro code, bro?
Yeah, it's a violation. It goes back to the Edge and Matt Hardy storyline. That's a huge violation. You don't do that. And the only exception is that if you do break the bro code and date or, you know, have your fun with somebody else, homeboy you should date, then it has to be wifey and family material, meaning, you know, Sage and Mark used to date so-and-so and Ben Gooson's seeing so-and-so, but now Ben Gooson's been with this person 15 years and has 2 kids and all that, then that's different. But yeah, that's a break of the bro code. 100%.
Yeah. Stephen Dash in the chat says it's an industry standard, or industry norm to do that. But
yeah, he does. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I remember a situation, and I ain't gonna name no names, but I used to work at this place, and consequently my boy Goose used to work there, or is still working there, I should say.
Yep.
And we had this very same situation, son, where homeboy and his girl, they broke up, and they hadn't been dating for probably about a year. And his friend, without even consulting him, scoops up his girl, his ex-girl, and like within 3 months they were pregnant. But that's besides the point. Like I think that's trashy, bruh. I don't know, man. Maybe that's just me, but like, you don't scoop somebody up you work with. You don't scoop somebody up that you work with, that your homeboy used to date, without having that conversation with them first.
No, I agree. I agree completely. It's not worth. Yeah, it's not worth all the drama.
Oh man, it's crazy, man. The world we live in is crazy, bro. I'm just saying. People used to get stitches back in the day for doing stuff like that, man.
Shout out to Stephen Thatch in the live chat saying it's trashy. What else? What else do we have to get into this week? Is there much else? I felt like we had a busy show, but we were really precise with our topics this week.
Yeah. Nah, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to Money in the Bank, and I know it's a couple of weeks away. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm excited at the possibilities of things to happen. I have no idea where they're going with the women's division on it, to be honest. So it's going to be interesting the next couple of weeks to see how that develops. But speaking of the women's division, man, one of our followers had brought up an interesting question this week about the rumor about the women's tag team championship coming down the line. And you and I have never really touched on the topic at all. We both have heard it, but we've never really voiced our opinions on if it's going to happen, and if it is going to happen, when is it going to happen? So I've got my theories, Goose, but I wanted to hit you up first and see what you thought about it.
I think it's stupid because there's not enough time on TV to throw a women's tag team division in, and it's going to end up being women thrown together who don't have anything going for them at the moment, or don't have enough time to be on TV, like a Natalia and Mandy Rose or whatever the case may be. I think it's just going to be thrown together tag teams and not real tag teams. So, and there's just no offense to the women, there's just not enough time on TV for it. So, nah, not a fan.
So, what if they consolidated the men's tag team division and use that extra slot for the women? Would you still think it wouldn't work, or you still would be opposed
in that scenario, yeah. But in that scenario, yes. You just have to have real women's tag teams, and not because right now, if they had women's tag teams, it would just be a bunch of thrown together singles wrestlers. And think about it, on NXT, they don't even have women's tag team matches. So it would take a while to grow on me, but yeah, I'd be a fan of it.
Do you think it'll, if it does come, do you think it'll come this year? And
no, 2-3 years tops. 2 or 3 years at best. Because
they were talking about this last year, man, and it's starting to gain some traction this year. So you still think it's 2 or 3 years out?
I do. So let me ask you this. Would you rather see a women's tag team champion or an intergender tag team champion?
WWE will never do an intergender tag team champion, bro. Ever.
Could you imagine? So they just did was it the intergender tournament?
Yeah.
So they just finished the intergender tournament. Are you saying they'll never have intergender champions?
Okay, so what are we talking about when we're talking about intergender? Are we talking about like men versus women, or are we talking about men and women tag team?
Men and women tag team, like a.
Oh, okay. So like the mixed match challenge, then. So like actually
yes.
having a mixed match challenge division. Okay. I think the women's tag team will come before we get an intergender type of thing. I think honestly, I think the mixed match challenge was a prelude to the women's tag team championship or championship division. And furthermore, I'm going to go out on a bold limb and say that we are going to get the women's tag team match or tag team division tournament this year. And I think that it'll be debuted right after the Mae Young Classic tournament ends.
I agree. I think there's a lot in store for what could happen. And I'm pumped, like super pumped either way to see what goes on. Anything else inside or outside the ring this week?
No, I mean, that's about it, man. We got some shout outs that we can get into. But before we get into shout outs, just want to say thank you for everyone who supported my marathon run last week. We raised about $4,300 for mental health awareness, which was amazing. And I definitely appreciate everyone's love and support throughout the entire time that I was training for the last 4.5, 5 months. So big shout outs to thank you guys. Got a little trophy to go with it. Cleared my half marathon in 2 hours and 49 minutes.
Jeez.
And first marathon, not going to be my last. I'll put some pictures up on Instagram so you guys can see it if you're not watching live on YouTube here. So you guys be sure to go check out our Instagram. It's Real Wrestling Podcast. Got some goodies there for you.
Sweet. Yeah, we had a great show this week. A lot going on inside, outside the ring. Sage, I told you from the get-go, I really appreciate you and Soda Pop for last week filling in. Great show. Really great show last week. And give props to Sage and Mark again for running that half marathon, because I ran a half marathon once from my couch and then thought, I'm going to run this. And I went to sleep. So, no, I'm playing. But yeah, super shout-outs. So, speaking of shout-outs to Sage and Mark, should we get into our shout-outs this week?
Yeah, man. We got that Orange Juice Jones track.
I was going to get the Orange Juice Jones, but I didn't know if we'd get into some copyright trouble. But I could sing it.
That thing is more than 20 years old, bro. We how much copyright trouble can we get into, man?
You know, and the Orange Juice Jones had one hit, which, by the way, go check out Childish Gambino's. Just type in Childish Gambino SNL this week. That Orange Juice Jones. Yeah. I watched that 80s throwback and I thought, I'm not. This is before you even text me. I honestly watched it. So you text me about it a day ago, and I watched the skit today, and I thought, man, I wonder if Sage knows about Orange Juice Jones in that video. Like, such a bad video, but such a great song, right?
It's a cult classic, son.
You know what? Sage.
It's a cult classic.
If ever me and you do not work out, and I run this show, and you're done, I kick you off the show. I'm gonna say, you and me is like cornflakes without the milk.
You know what you got to do? You got to get on out of here with that crumb cake, shoe wearing. I see you out here, because girl, you've been dismissed, silly rabbit. Chicks are for kids. Did you know that? You without me is like the cornflake without the milk. Now get on out of here, scat.
Oh my God. Greatest song of all time.
Oh, bruh. Yes.
That's the greatest song. Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's it, bruh. That is it.
All right.
Oh, man.
So we got to say this week has been a hell of a show. I think that this week there's a good amount of shout outs to get into that should get into. A lot of thank yous that we should get into. So, Sage, go ahead, and I know I normally play the reggae, but I'm going to switch it up this week.
Okay.
And I appreciate you saying, hey, last week, normally Ben Goosen's got the soundboard, but I'm just going to put this in and post. Well, that was one of my favorite lines last week.
I gotta keep it real, bro. I mean, we need that help on that Patreon, man. Y'all hit us up, patreon.com/IRWP. Help us get to that extra mix board. Shoot, boys are hurting. Now we're gonna get into the shout outs. But first, I got the chill. I was about to land blast all y'all.
I know you hear this.
Yeah. So y'all focus on me, not my backup crew. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm gonna change that song. So, man, that was just, if you get a chance, that's gonna be our song of the week.
Yeah,
that is definitely the song of the week. But I digress. Go ahead and let's get into some shout outs this week.
All right, man. Here we go. It's going to be a little bit of a long list, guys, so just bear in with me. First and foremost, want to thank Stephen Thatch for coming out with us live. Always a pleasure. My friend, he's chatting it up with our Nightbot. I think he likes him. I'll put in the good word for you, Stephen. We got the Max Dillinger. We've got WWE New England fan. We've got the Wrestling Hub. Thank you so much for the Wrestling Hub. You guys have been wonderful in helping getting our name out there. Y'all go show them some love at the Wrestle Hub out on Twitter. We've got Who else do we got here? We got Five Meats Comics. We got a newcomer, Christina Hernandez. Thank you so much for showing us love. Got Wrestling Weekly. Good guy, Dave Postfesky. Probably slaughtered that, but appreciate you joining us and joining the movement. We got Jordan Fox. We got Johnny 3 Savage. We've got Cafe Con Leche Nerds. I bet you didn't think that I could say that. I like Tres Leches cake. Just saying. We also have got Spencer Love. Thanks so much for showing us love. Michael David Harding. Burt Macklin. Burt Macklin's a special guy, man. Y'all go check him out at Burt Macklin 11. That's MACLIN. Burt Macklin 11. He likes Impact Wrestling. Wants us to cover it a little bit more. I don't know if I can get Goose on board, but you know what? I'll try to do something for you, bro. We got Aaron Walker. Thank you so much.
No,
we got
it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I tried to watch an Impact Wrestling tonight, and Josh Matthews is terrible.
Just terrible, bro. Trying to sell us on some Sammy Callahan. Oh, we got Grim Reaper Tony. Thanks so much, bro, for showing us some love. We also have the Hoopers Cinematically Correct. We've got me, and not me, but me. We also got Barbs. We got more ladies showing us love. Thank you so much. We got Tara Braid. Again, more ladies showing us love. TJA, Mahi Singer, biggest Roman fan, I bet. We've got Abqueep, Abdul Allah. Man, I hope I didn't start a
good pronunciation. Yeah.
And then last but not least, we got Robert Hood. Robert Hood, thank you so much for showing us love. And that will be it for the shout outs for this week, guys and gals.
Hey everybody, we just want to let you know to enjoy the show. I'm your boy Ben Goose, and I was back this week. I'm really glad that I'm back this week. I had a good show. It was a lot going on in today's world. We just want you to know to keep it real. Wrestling is a way to release and get along with one another. I'm your boy Ben Goose, and go ahead and hit me up. You know, it's easy. On Twitter, type in It's Real Wrestling Podcast. We have enough followers these days. We're close to 1,000, actually, to where you can just type that in and find us, or hit up IRWP.us. Sage, where can they find you?
You know. Your boy Sage the Mark is on Twitter at Sage the Mark. You can also find us at Real WrestleCast on Twitter. If you like that Instagram, you on that gram, hit us up at It's Real Wrestling Podcast, or hit hashtag IRWP. Even better, you can hit us up at our website, IRWP.us, 419-777-IRWP, IRWP feedback at gmail.com. And if you're on iTunes, please be sure you guys leave those comments for us on iTunes by searching It's Real Wrestling Podcast. Show us love. 5-star, 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 5-star. Like your Dave Meltzer. What's up?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. We appreciate you listening. I'm your boy, Ben Goose, and that's your boy, Sage Mark. I'm back this week, and I'm back for the next couple weeks. Going to be in a new stadium once I get this apartment after the move, so I don't know how the audio quality is going to sound, so you're just going to have to ignore it and just deal with it. I appreciate you listening either which way. It's your boy, Ben Goose, and keep it real.
Cena, bro code. It's the juice.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Ben Goose, and thank you for listening today. It was a great show. The thoughts and opinions are that of the host, and not on the IRWP. We appreciate you listening. Again, hit us up on the line, on the online at IRWP.us. Type in It's Real Wrestling Podcast. If you go on Twitter, we're not hard to find. 419-777-IRWP. I probably botched that. Again, hit us up, 419-777-RWP. I know it's a Cleveland area code, but hey, the Cavs might be in the finals. Hit us up.